Welcome back to Mountain Connections. The Youth Sports Alliance was created after the 2002 Utah Olympic Games. It was established as a legacy, also to encourage youth to participate in winter sports. And right now I'm speaking with Emily Fisher, the Executive Director, via phone. Emily, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
We're doing well. I'm curious, how is the Youth Sports Alliance? What are you able to accomplish during this time, and how did the season end?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a challenge there. For the end of the season, we support 7 local winter sport clubs, and the season was definitely cut short. But there were a couple of outstanding results before the events were canceled. So I know that many of the athletes were disappointed, but we do want to celebrate the athletes who were able to compete at the end of the season. And before everything was canceled, we actually had 4 new junior national champions here in Park City Nation. So Matt Greiner won the junior national luge title. Wes Campbell was the junior national champion in the 5 kilometer cross country race at Cross Country Junior Nationals. And then Cole McDonald, who skis for Wasatch Freestyle Foundation, and Ali Masuga, who skis with Park City Ski and Snowboard, both won the Junior National Mogul titles. So something exciting to celebrate as even though it was an abbreviated end of the season.
It is exciting to hear those successes and accomplishments of some of our local athletes. As you mentioned, some of the teams with our youth that travel and compete all over the world were able to finish out their season, but others was unfortunately cut short. Did many of the athletes return home? Are they training at home? What are they doing right now?
Yeah, so in speaking with those 7 clubs that we organized, some were able to finish their seasons and some were definitely cut very short. So all of the teams were able to get their athletes home, which I think Park City Ski and Snowboard had something like 120 athletes spread around the world. So that was definitely a challenge to get everybody home. But everybody is now home, and we are learning a ton about virtual training and having some virtual training sessions. Luckily for most of the winter sports, spring is a time of a little bit of rest and recuperation. So they're taking some time to figure out, maybe what summer training will look like, if it's going to happen virtually, if it's going to happen 10 feet apart, or if it's going to be back to normal. So just looking at all those different options.
It's good to hear that many of those athletes, well, all of them, returned home safely. And again, that must have been quite the undertaking, as those athletes were all over the world when really this virus hit. So it's nice to know that they are back home. I want to check in about get out and play programs. We know they're on hiatus because school is not in session, but where are they at? Will you have registration for fall programs? How are you juggling that right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, we did have to cancel a majority of our spring programs, which was definitely disappointing. But we're still holding out that we might be able to have a CPR class or something if we go back to school. But right now, we're just really taking the time to plan for next year, and we're planning on expanding into Wasatch County, into one elementary and one middle school in Wasatch County. So that's exciting. And we do anticipate a greater need for scholarships, especially our programs are so affordable and you can try a lot of different sports and get active. And so we're definitely planning for greater scholarship needs and potentially bigger participation numbers. I think most of our students are getting a lot of screen time and probably not enough activities. So we really look forward to the day that we can provide a lot of great options for those families and for those students.
It's exciting to hear that you're expanding into Wasatch County. I know that you recently, this school year, were able to offer programs out in South Summit. So that's exciting to hear. Do you know what kind of programs you'll be offering in Wasatch County?
So we're really that's the one thing we do have time to explore and talk to a lot of different vendors and places in Wasatch County. We'll also be expanding hopefully our elementary program at South Summit as well. So to have programming throughout the year. So we're excited about those options, and we're just talking to a lot of different vendors each time we go into a new school or a new community. Our programs look a little bit different depending on the makeup of the community and the interests of the community. So looking at, different places and vendors and clubs that we can work with and partner with in Wasatch County. We know that Soldier Hollow will be a great partner because they have a lot of great resources and the venue is right there. So we know that we'll partner with them, and then looking at other vendors that can come into the schools, and then where we can actually go out to other vendors. So, and we are lucky that we had a independent donor come forward to support the launch of that program. So very grateful that we'll be able to do that.
Of course, I want to mention that while the Youth Sports Alliance primarily focuses on winter sports, such as giving kids opportunities through their Get Out and Play program, to bobsled, to Nordic ski, to speed skate, you will also provide programs that kids want to cook, to participate in art. It really is something that the YSA strives to do is you talk to the students, find out what they're interested in, and you make it happen, whether it's something outdoors or something inside. And I always enjoy that with the programs. It really helps our students.
Yeah, our Get Out and Play program is definitely focused on getting outside and playing, and so we try to offer them a wide variety of sports, from bouldering to triathlon, cross-country skiing, every ski discipline, luge, etc. And then for our Activate program, when we still launched that program, we talked to the students, we talked to the administrators, and they really wanted a wide variety of healthy activities and healthy lifestyle things, and it does include cooking and art and later entry sports like rowing and skeleton and curling, and anything to sort of just keep getting kids active, keep getting them interested in healthy lifestyle activities. And that's one thing we do really enjoy about the Activate program. When we moved out to South Summit, our art programs have been very popular because they don't have as much art in the schools. So it's kind of looking at each community and each school and seeing what the students are interested in participating in.
And Emily, since we usually have more events and registrations to talk about than we do today, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your background. You grew up competing in Nordic skiing. You also competed in college. How does that background help with what you're doing right now?
Yeah, and I think, when I was younger, probably in elementary and middle school, I competed in a whole variety of sports. So I was a competitive soccer player. I was a cross-country skier. I competed in alpine. I actually was on the ski jumping team in high school. So just a wide variety of sports. And I think that definitely helped me when I focused on Nordic skiing in college. But I think, sports has influenced and made my life what it is, and I have seen personally what a incredible journey sport can provide and all of the life lessons. And I just want to make sure that every kid in our community can have those same opportunities to learn those same life lessons and gain those same skills.
And you are spreading that passion throughout the entire Youth Sports Alliance. I know that we are thankful for your leadership, and they are as well. Where can we get more information about the Youth Sports Alliance? If people want to donate, I know you always need donations to help with scholarships and help run these programs. And also, where can we get more information about programs that will hopefully resume shortly?
Yeah, so our website is ysaparkcity.org, and we will, for fall programs, we usually launch those later summer, so those won't launch until then. And like I said, we really anticipate a greater need for scholarships and programming. So if anybody wants to help those kids that have been cooped up and getting a lot of screen time and probably, have not been able to get out and enjoy and play with their friends, any donation would be greatly appreciated.
Well, thank you so much, Emily, for joining us this morning via the phone. We are looking forward to seeing you back in studio when the time is right and it is safe. But in the meantime, it's good to hear about the Youth Sports Alliance and good to be updated on everything happening within that program. Definitely a very important part of our community here in Park City and across the Wasatch Front. We have more coming up right after this. We'll be right back.